Go on.
Yeah, so I've worked in a variety of different types of organizations in conservation or environmental projects, and so.
And can you talk about the impact of climate change on Canada?
Yeah, there's particularly in Canada's north and the Arctic, you're starting to see impacts. The ice cap is being reduced both in geographic area but also in thickness. That's having an effect on wildlife, of course, and in other areas of the country as well. We've got serious pine bark beetle infestations, and particularly in the west of Canada. But there are other things that greater infestations of different animals and things that are non-native species, invasive species that are affecting the native wildlife as well. You see a lot of that or more of it in central Canada than you do maybe in other areas, and many causes for that. Not all climate change by any stretch, but certainly it is having an impact.
Now, Canada has been somewhat of a laggard recently, particularly with the tar sands. Would you comment on that?
Yeah, I mean, certainly the oil sands create a significant, I think it's some 5% of our emissions, and that's projected to grow over time. But, I think from my point of view, I'm sort of less concerned of the tar sands than I think it's important that Canada have very good targets for climate change, that we try to, that we meet, that we have good targets and we're committed to meeting them. But I don't, whether that's met through coal or oil sands oil or other oil, I think is less important than it is to have good low targets or high targets, and meet them.
And you think Canada's prepared to do what other rich countries are doing in terms of emissions reduction?
I'm less convinced of that.
Because?
Well, our government has shown very little commitment to climate change issues. I mean, we ratified the Kyoto, but have done nothing to follow through on that. We don't have a plan to achieve any targets on climate change right now. So, where do I look for evidence of commitment? There's not much. I mean, there's a few things that our government has done and done well. Areas like the offsets. There's been some decent work around some of the policy work that needs to be done for that. But when you start looking for evidence of good performance, it's hard to find.